Caps. So just go to the Caps meeting. That's easy. That's too easy. There's no political courage with that, because all you're doing is just sending them in a system that unfortunately is our elders giving the police the authority to go get our young people. Instead of solving the root of the problem, you just had the elders giving the police the audacity, the community green light to go and harass the boys, not dealing with the root of the issue. Why are they on the corner? You know what I mean? Well, let's look at the bigger picture here. Who benefits when we lock them up? The people downstate in Centralia, Vandalia, Illinois, who's saying, send us your prisoners. That's what they say. They say, yeah, keep our prisons open. We need them. That's how we send our kids to school. And our black politicians here just keep giving the green light to it. The mayor just recently changed the ticket. When you get your parking tickets, from 2 tickets, it was 5. Then they brought it down to 3. Now it's 2. All the black aldermen gave the green light to that. All the black aldermen said yes to that. He introduced it, then he backed away from it, and he tapered it in with some other stuff so that they can green light. He gave us an amnesty. And all of them said, okay, well, at least we got an amnesty. So, okay, we'll go along with it since it's 6 months later. But the same end result, 2 tickets, they boot your car, tow it, and take it away. My car was booted and taken back in 2001, and it was taken away and told by one of the mayor's friends who owned the tow company that ended up selling my car. You know, it's just a mess. It's a mess. But my point of all of that to you guys is our black leadership has not represented us.
That's right.
Right. That's my whole, that's the premise.
Right.
I have a whole list of stuff I can go through in terms of just proof that they haven't represented us. Now, Barack was the only person that I really got inspired by, because he was not supported by the current black leadership in Chicago. Please, make no mistake about it. They jumped on the bandwagon later. But exactly, once it was safe and comfortable. But originally, he was out there doing the grassroots approach that you guys spoke about, that what we do. Out there knocking on doors, hearing from the people. See, when you knock on the door, it's a whole nother arena. You hear everything, you on the front line, and just think about it. We're in the most dangerous city, so when you're knocking on doors, you're knocking on the doors in the most dangerous territory in the city. So when you do that, I got a greater respect for you. And the current black leadership, you just send people out there, you pay people, let them do it. So you don't really get to hear from the people directly, because you just sent your troops out and paid them $1 a signature and that type of stuff just to get the signatures. But for doing this work for 10 years and meeting so many people, I've gathered enough honest support in the hearts of people. And you heard it from the people who really believe that my heart is sincere, and that's what it's going to take. February 2nd is the election, and the traditional politicians tell you got to do this, this, and this to win. I believe the way we're going to win is when people know your heart, and they go back to their block and they tell their neighbors about your heart. And they say, hey, here's this person who has integrity, been out here on the front lines. Here, let's organize a coffee so you can meet this person. We just did that on 66 and Green yesterday and met some key people. So we're not going to run the traditional campaign, you guys. We're not going to run. We're going to run a campaign that people have not seen before, that's truly block by block. And the colors, if you look at my brochure there, these colors, the toilet tissue, Mary Lou talked about, these colors and the daily living habits is how we're going to not only win this race, but we're going to turn black life around. Let me say that again. Okay. The toilet tissue, the colors, and the daily living habits is how we're going to turn black life around. And we're going to make certain that these politicians, not just the politicians, but these black pastors as well, and some of these non-for-profits are held truly accountable. All right, some people have been looking at our report card that we have. And the block by block report card, you know, I've gotten death threats on the west side when we did this against some of the churches. But if you're here, your church is here, what are you doing for the people on the block?
That's right.
It's just that simple.
That's right.
It's just that simple. The people on the block said you had an F. It wasn't me saying it, it was the people on the block. I just had the courage enough to bring it to you and say, here's what they said, F. All right? And the Sun-Times picked the story up, put it in the newspaper, and they hit a firestorm, and they had a fit. They was upset, they organized, they called meetings and wanted to yell and scream, how can you embarrass the church? And they was yelling at me, but it wasn't me, it was the people on the block. Right. But the point of that, I have that type of courage, because what I seen overseas and what God showed me vision-wise, we can't let nothing stand in the way of having that courage to go after whoever, whenever, so that we can create the changes. The people who've been murdered, 204 murders so far this year. Who was representing them? Who was out there fighting for them? So when you had these incumbents who's in office right now and they just do the Democratic thing, come together at big fundraisers and events, but not out here on the block, it's time out for that. It's time out for that. When we was walking up, the treasurer and she was saying, what you gonna do when you get in office and the Democrats say, okay, Mike Madigan, who's the head, and I know you connected, you know, these people, when they say, okay, you're a Democrat now, I'm the House Speaker, you gotta do what I say do. She asked me what I'm gonna do when he say that. And my quick response is, we're not gonna wait for that. We're gonna organize in his district right now so we can put somebody else in there. It's time for change for all of us.
That's right. That's right.
So we're not even gonna be in position to listen to that. And when that threat comes, if he say you have to do this, this, and this, so I'm not gonna let anything you want come before a vote. We say, okay, we're gonna make phone calls to the people on the block. We're gonna organize ourselves in his district and get him out of office. That has to be our approach with all of them, whether they're aldermen, incumbent, whoever it is. It's got to be what the people say and not what the political gods and those people have to say about doing things. So, I think I went over. I did, 5 minutes. Sorry about that. But in all honesty, I want y'all to know, me running, and I want to give you what these colors mean real quick. The yellow in every block has already been given these colors all over Black Chicago. Every block. And the goal of this candidacy will be to introduce the colors to you so you know what it means. Wentworth is yellow. Yellow stands for health and education. That's what yellow is. So when you see these colors, think about the STDs, the obesity, lead poison. Think about the kids who dropped out of school, who are failing in school. That's what yellow is. Wentworth is a yellow block, so we work with people on this block right now to push that agenda. Perry is right behind us. That's a green block. Green is safety and senior citizens. All right, so we already working on that block and making sure that we got smoke alarms, that we know who the sexual predators are, things of that nature, right here on Perry. The next block over from Perry is Lafayette. That's right by the expressway. If you drove down right there, getting ready to get on the expressway on 67, you saw the two houses with the blue window signs in their window, telling you that that block is a blue block, and blue stands for economics and youth. So that block has the listing of companies that's hiring, because that's an economic issue. On that block, they're working on making sure people got budgets and savings and know how to invest. That's what Lafayette is doing. And also the trips that we do every month, taking kids out of town. So that's what Lafayette is doing. This is this one village, Perry, Lafayette, Wentworth, them three colors. Every neighborhood has already been given these three colors, block by block, and we just have to introduce this and make people aware so that they can now bring their passions to that same table and see it manifest. So that's my plan and strategy, is getting us well organized with these colors. You're going to see the colors on everything. We're going to saturate these colors. You know, I'm the green, yellow, and blue candidate. That's the block by block plan right there, all over the place. And then the toilet tissue. This is a black-owned store here, Cadillac. That's blue because that's economic. We have to support and get the black dollar circulating, and supporting these stores is how we go do that. Toilet tissue, as everyone is buying tissue, is creating jobs, because these young people are delivering the tissue. And all my people out here already buying the tissue. Thank you for that. We just got to increase that. In our neighborhood, it's about $2.4 million worth of tissue each month that's being bought. Just imagine what that's going to look like when we actually have that revenue coming and what we would be to rebuild our neighborhood. That means more out-of-town trips for our kids. Instead of hanging out, they traveling, they going places. They talking about what happened in New York, in D.C. So that's what's going to happen when I'm in office. What's going to happen on the education front? The yellow blocks we have are going to go out and take that inventory on how many kids dropped out. So the yellow blocks going to be walking in their village, finding out who dropped out. We're going to get that list of our dropouts together, and we're going to start working on getting them their GED, along with them traveling, so they can broaden their scope and want more than just sports and entertainment, because unfortunately that's what too many of them want to do.